Recap kind of the buzz out there right now, since Dustin famously at the top of his swing has a very weird bowed left wrist.
I wrote an op-ed piece.
On GolfWorks?
No, on my blog.
On his own blog.
Okay, right. That makes it sound way more important than it is.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I wrote and I was being serious, and it was a satire at the same time. And Dustin, it was in 2010 that I wrote this. Okay. And I made a prediction. I said, if Dustin Johnson wins again at Pebble, everybody's going to go on TV and on the internet and say, oh, Dustin Johnson hits it far. He just won at Pebble again. Everybody bow your left wrist.
Yeah.
And one guy kind of didn't do much, but all of a sudden, Justin wins the US Open. Everybody everywhere. It's the swing. It's this. Everybody do this. Michael Breed did it. And I am just losing my patience with this. This just drives me insane that, you know, golf instruction as a whole tries to cherry pick one anomaly in somebody's swing and make it about that. Everybody wanted to know the benefits of Jordan Spieth's chicken wing. Everybody's going hog wild over Bryson DeChambeau's single axis swing, single length clubs, all this other nonsense, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, Dustin Johnson was just as long, maybe even hit it better at last year's US Open, and had he made that 8-foot putt for eagle on the 72nd hole,
or
the same nonsense would be going on. And it's fine. If you want to go and discuss how this works in conjunction with the rest of his swing, I buy it.
Yeah.
Okay? But all I heard was Dustin Johnson's left wrist closes the club. All you amateurs are slice it. Do this. It's powerful. It's straight. This is why he won the golf tournament, because of this swing. I'm losing my marbles because nobody's talking about that he has an extremely vertical shoulder turn. Yeah. His shoulders are almost perpendicular to the ground at impact, and his hips get 60 or 70 degrees open. Yeah. I promise you, 99.99% of the amateur golfers out there cannot get their hips or shoulders in the same position as he does. 99.9% of the amateurs out there cannot stand barefoot under a 10-foot basketball rim and jump up and dunk a basketball. Yeah. So you can't just say it's all about the bow. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some people out there that if they integrate a more bowed left wrist into their swing with this and that matching part, might not be able to get some benefit. What's driving me crazy is everybody saying, bowed wrist, everybody do it, it's great, it's long, and this is why Dustin Johnson won the US Open. And you can tell by the way I'm ranting right now that it's really pissing me off. And it needs to stop. It's not about Hogan's lag. It's not about Mo Norman's straight right arm and standing away from the thing. It's about an entire project that they put together and how hard they work and how great of an athlete they are or whatnot, and that worked for them. And golf instruction should not be about let's copy this one thing that this one guy did, or even the full swing that this guy did. Yeah. And let's find out these 100 players are great. These 100 players kind of have these things in common. These 50 players have these bad things in common. And let's kind of have a body of work where we work off of.
Yeah, a lot of the people on the internet, some of the people on the internet that I've been seeing since this Dustin Johnson's win, are using this bowed left wrist to talk, you know, what we always talk about, to say, oh, Dustin Johnson, because he has this bowed wrist, can just swing as hard as possible with the lower body and do nothing with his upper body. You know, and because of this bowed left wrist, he's just rotating like hell and it's flush square every time.
You know, you're saying that, and I just want to start slamming these chairs, and it really, really frustrates me because he has to get his lower body that open in order for the club not to get closed at impact. And that's why, you know, his shoulders are so vertical. But I saw somebody put up a video that says, you know, his arms don't accelerate until almost impact, and and I'm just, you know, putting,
okay.
you know, giving
Yeah.
the double face palm.
Yeah.
If you put him on a 3D motion capture system, you would see that his left arm accelerates at the same place that all other great players do.
Yeah.
And he just happens to get his hips that open because he's that athletic, he's able to do it, and because he has to.
How do you think a move like that developed? We don't know. Our friend George works with Dustin a little bit, but how do you think a move like this, bowed left wrist, developed in
You know, you could ask the same thing of Lee Trevino.
Uh-huh.
You could ask the same thing of Daniel Berger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could ask Jim Furyk about his, you know, his funny
Yeah, like
move.
how does this, yeah.
You know, it's just what, you know, people, Monte, why did you make a lateral move off the ball? I don't know.
Right.
You know, I did it one day and it worked.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, great players don't, all these great players are not great because of X, this. They are great because they found a way to make it work for them. And it takes thousands and thousands of hours to develop those moves over trial and error. And who knows? There's some mystery. You know, maybe one day he, you know, showed up to the golf course and it hurt his left wrist to go like this.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, this takes the pressure off of it. Oh my God, I'm hitting the ball pretty long and straight doing that. I'm going to continue to do that.
That's his swing.
I mean, that's a
yeah.
hypothetical, but that's exactly the way it happens.
Yeah.
You know, Hogan's swing, you know, he didn't invent that out of thin air. That was 8 hours a day for 10 years.
When Monte and I have been working now for about a year, and in thinking about Dustin Johnson's swing, it made me think about what the wrists do through the swing.
Right.
So I'll kind of lead you into this, but I've always been taught earlier that it's actually there's a few things that you have to do, and one thing you have to do is have a flat left wrist at impact. Now, what did you read some stuff on the PGA Tour about the players that actually have that?
Okay, I mean, I don't, you know, I was, this is my excuse. I was sick that day. I don't know if I explained it correctly.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Someone said to me that I might have said that everybody's wrist is like this. That's not what I meant to say. Everybody's wrist is extending.
Oh, it's in the process of going from this.
It's in the process of going like this.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know, pretty much nobody is in the process of going like that
through the swing.
Okay, so even Dustin Johnson with this wrist is still extending. At some do it more than others.
Yeah.
Sitting there and going, I'm going to have a flat left wrist at impact, is ridiculous in its you know idea. You move your body correctly, you sequence your body correctly, and as the result of lining up 17 other things, you will come into impact with, you know, straight, slightly bowed, slightly, you know, cupped. But, you know, you don't want this. The ball wouldn't get airborne no matter how much, and you obviously don't want that. Okay? Something plus or minus this is going to be the result of sequencing properly. This is a result. This is like lag. This is like shaft lean. These are the things that result from doing the setup, the backswing, the transition, getting it, that will produce those moves. But if you're in there trying to go from, so this is extension, this is flexion. If you're trying to go into flexion at impact on purpose, you're in for you'll probably hurt yourself. But you're not going to hit the ball very well, because all good players are in the process of doing this.
So this might be impact, or this might be impact, but it's getting there. It's a journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But one thing I wanted to ask you about. So you and I, when we were working, I've had a lot of success recently hitting really good, like, full wedge shots, thinking about this. You know, I was getting disconnected in this way. And what were you telling me in our taking it through the course video too? We were talking about it. What were you telling me about keeping this more here and then exiting more this all one piece?
Right.
Because me, and I think a lot of people, get this kind of disconnected through there.
Well, you know, there are actual movements and there are like pre-intents.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So like, this is the definition. This is the, if people say, Monte, that sounds kind of hypocritical of you. You say you can't do anything on the downswing.
Yeah. From the Monte's big thing, for anybody who doesn't know, is that you can do the setup, you can take care of the setup, you can take care of the backswing, and you can take care of the first part of the transition, and then
the ball's gone.
Yeah.
But there are things that can be labeled a pre-intent.
So like you have a destination in mind that you're
correct.
Yeah.
So like one that I work on is I want my arms working. I have a tendency to get steep, and then my arms work very vertical after impact.
So you hit it and then you go
like this, okay? And I start to hit it really offline when I do that.
Yeah.
But I have a pre-intent. When I'm standing over the ball, in my mind, I'm gonna feel my arms exiting low and more around me, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hit the ball and then make them go low, more around me.
Right. Yeah.
But if I have like a pre-intent, I know, I take a little practice swing, I feel like I'm gonna do this. Intuitively and instinctually, your body goes, well, if you're going to go this way, we've got to do this in the transition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's kind of, people say, well, that's kind of semantics. It's not. So if you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to get to this position right here.
Yeah.
This is a position you can't really get into.
Yeah.
But if you're going to like say, okay, I want to kind of feel this move, even though I don't agree with it, the pre-intent to do it is what you can do. So, when you walk into the ball, you're going to feel X.
Yeah.
That will kind of make your body line up sometimes. But to like say, I'm going to do this at impact, that's kind of a losing proposition.
Now, because I know you talked about this in the wedge video that you put out. With wedge shots, do you want to have a different feeling in your exit as far as your kind of wrist conditions? Do you want to be a lot more quiet on the wedge shots and more active in the longer ones, or all the same?
In my, people say you have different intents with different clubs. I like to make them as close as possible.
Yeah.
My whole goal in my game right now is my driver and 3-wood swing look too much different than my iron swing.
Yeah.
My iron swing looks really, really good right now.
Yeah.
False modesty aside, when I'm swinging, when my body feels good, I mean, I'm controlling the rotation of the club face with the rotation of my body. And when it exits over here, there's no face roll.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, my arms are nice and connected to my body. They're not slinging away from me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy with it most days.
For amateurs, you see that a lot with me and amateurs, as far as the club gets slung and it starts rolling a lot.
Right.
Because they're used to trying to swing to first base and roll it. Right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to. I don't think at my age I'm ever going to be able to swing at 125 miles an hour and make that move that I make with my 8-iron.
Yeah.
Because quite honestly, I hit my 8-iron 165 yards and I can hit it 190. Whereas my driver, if I swing my driver at 105, I can do it.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to, and this brings me to the point in messing with your golf swing and golf instruction. Yeah. There is no correct. Yeah. There is, all you have is you can make yourself better than you are now. Yep. So, I'm not going to be a 5 mile per hour guy at 50 years old, having no face rotation and having my arms connected to the rotation of my body over here. But what I can do is sling it less.
Yeah.